After her lectures concluded at 2 p.m., Janet wasted no time and headed straight home. Despite feeling tired, her determination to upload more of the story online and read the recent comments fueled her motivation. She believed the story had the potential to elevate Saint's reputation, and the feedback from the forum would serve as a source of encouragement for him to continue writing. Arriving home, Janet swiftly turned on her laptop, her weariness temporarily forgotten as she yearned to immerse herself in typing and uploading the document. As anticipated, numerous eager readers were requesting more chapters of the story. "Well, you won't have to wait for long," she whispered with a sense of satisfaction. She quickly opened the Secrets of the Gods document and diligently began typing away. Within 2 hours, she was done typing and proofreading. Swiftly, she uploaded the new content, pleased with her progress. Finally, with her task accomplished, Janet powered down her system and lay down on her bed. The weariness from the day's activities enveloped her, and she drifted off to sleep as soon as her head touched the soft pillow, looking forward to the next chapter of her writing journey. Inspector Lucky and Officer Audu arrived at Rotimi's office at 4:30 p.m. Rotimi was a journalist working for the Capital City Reporters, situated near Heritage House in Wu's Zone 3. His office occupied the second floor of the 4-story building that housed over 40 office outlets. As they entered, the relief on Rotimi's face was evident. Beyond their professional connection, Lucky and Rotimi shared a strong personal friendship that extended to their families. Lucky admired Rotimi for his serious-minded approach to tasks. The tall middleweight journalist welcomed the policemen and ushered them to their seats. Rotimi's well-groomed appearance, with his clean-shaven face, could have given the impression of privilege. But in reality, he owed all his achievements to hard work and determination. Expressing condolences for the death of Lucky's men, Rotimi empathized with their distress. He encouraged them to find the criminal mastermind, Clifford, as a way to motivate the police force. The case weighed heavily on the inspector, knowing that the safety of the public was at stake, especially if criminal could attack the police with impunity. Rotimi believed the key to solving the case lay in the anonymous story that surfaced before the killings. The tale mentioned Lucky, the 2 deceased officers, the stolen medallion, and the mysterious black smoke. It even alluded to Sandra and Angela, leaving them with many unanswered questions. Audu inquired about the timing of the story's posting, discovering that it was before 12 noon on Sunday, just hours before the killings began. This revelation intrigued Lucky, sensing it might hold crucial clues. Rotimi proposed contacting the anonymous writer through the female poster. He decided to send her a private message to seek more information about the medallion and the killings. Excitement welled up within Rotimi as he found that the writer had uploaded more of the story. They hoped to uncover details about the officers' murders and gain further insights into the perplexing case. Curiosity piqued, Inspector Lucky pulled his chair closer, eager to hear what the story held, and hoping it would lead them closer to solving the puzzling crime.
Chapter 4. Dr. Jerry finally entered his opulent office, offering apologies for the delay caused by some demanding patients. Chief Uzor, the wealthy businessman, had been waiting patiently, engrossed in a technological breakthrough program on CNN. Time had slipped away unnoticed in the comfortable, air-conditioned space that mirrored the office of a high-ranking government official. As the family doctor for the Uzor family, Dr. Jerry's bond with the chief extended beyond the professional realm. They were close friends, their friendship even influencing their families. Dr. Jerry was a likable man, and his patients held him in high regard, often seeing him as a miracle worker. His position at Maitama General Hospital connected him with Abuja's wealthiest residents, including Chief Uzor. The chief sought reassurance about his blood pressure, and Dr. Jerry assured him it was not a major concern. However, Chief Uzor couldn't help but express his worries about his health, especially with his daughter Gina, returning from the United Kingdom tomorrow. Dr. Jerry advised Chief Uzor to consider finding a companion to move on from the loss of his late wife. But the chief felt too preoccupied with his daughter and rejected the idea, although the doctor sensed there was more to his worries. Unbeknownst to Dr. Jerry, Chief Uzor's real concern was his lack of a son. His late wife had faced multiple miscarriages, and they were fortunate to have a daughter. Now, as he grew older, Chief Uzor worried about the future of his vast empire once he was gone. His daughter, while educated and capable, might struggle to manage everything. Having achieved immense success as a contractor and in real estate, Chief Uzor was a philanthropist who cared for the needy. The mention of that girl, Sandra, and her initiative reminded him of the importance of giving back. Before leaving the doctor's office, Chief Uzor expressed his gratitude and assured the doctor that he would handle himself. Dr. Jerry considered Chief Uzor more than just a patient. They shared a deep connection. As Chief Uzor left, he pondered the idea of remarriage, but his heart was still tied to his late wife. Despite his wealth and looks, he found it hard to love again, yet he needed a son to carry on his legacy. Chief Uzor instructed his driver to take him to Asokoro to change for the evening, his mind still grappling with the unfulfilled desire for a male heir. Ekane sat in the dimly lit two-bedroom apartment, his mind heavy with the misfortunes that seemed to surround his life. At 27 years old, he had expected to have achieved more after graduating with a degree in economics from the University of Lagos 2 years ago. However, his efforts to secure a job had been in vain, and life had become an unrelenting struggle. He often went without proper meals, and despair weighed on him. The loss of his mother, Edna Aja, before he graduated, had left Ekene feeling utterly alone in the world. She had sacrificed everything for him as a single mother, and her absence had left a void he couldn't fill. The streets of Ajagunla, where he grew up, had shaped him with their ruggedness, and while education had tempered some of his rough edges, the struggle for survival still remained a part of him. Unable to find a job in Lagos, Ekene decided to heed the advice of his classmate Bola and relocate to Abuja. Bola, who had left after graduation, appeared to be doing well in the city's property sector. However, Ekene couldn't shake the feeling that his friend was hiding something behind his apparent success. 2 weeks after moving to Abuja, Ekene was still not sure of what his friend was doing and how he could fit in. He was still unsure about his future, but he hoped that being away from Lagos might bring some clarity. He had been spending time with Bola, exploring the city and looking for job opportunities. On this particular day, as he waited for Bola to return, Ekene's thoughts wandered between hope and uncertainty. He was down to his last 3,000 naira, which he knew wouldn't last long. Bola had promised to take him around town again, but the morning had passed, and there was no sign of his friend. Suddenly, the door crashed open, and a bloodied Bola stumbled into the apartment, collapsing onto the floor. Shocked and frightened, Ekene rushed to his friend's side. Bola was covered in blood, and Ekene couldn't immediately determine the extent of his injuries. With urgency, he carried Bola to the car parked outside, knowing that every moment mattered. Driving recklessly without a license, Ekene's focus was solely on getting Bola to the hospital. His friend had multiple stab wounds, and the situation was dire. He prayed silently, fearing the worst if Bola didn't survive the journey. Following Google Maps' direction, the car sped towards the general hospital. Ekene's mind raced with questions about what had happened to Bola. The sight of his friend in such a state filled him with a mixture of emotions: fear for Bola's life and confusion about the mysterious circumstances surrounding his friend's apparent success in Abuja. Whatever had transpired, Ekene knew that he would stand by his friend's side and do whatever he could to help him through this perilous situation.
The three men exchanged puzzled glances, as if searching each other's faces for answers. Inspector Lucky, obviously disappointed, dismissed the story as mere fiction, seemingly unrelated to their ongoing investigation. Rotimi, however, remained intrigued, suggesting that there might be hidden connections between the characters mentioned in the narrative. Rotimi maintained that they can't ignore the possibility that Chief Uzor, a known figure in Abuja, is somehow linked to this story. He suggested they talk to him and see if he knows anything about the people mentioned, just to cover all loopholes. He also reminded the cops that the right has established a connection between the chief and Sandra. Lucky expressed his skepticism, questioning how the chief could be involved in the strange occurrences in town. Still, he agreed to follow Rotimi's lead and seek answers from Chief Uzor. Rotimi volunteered to call him, opening up that he had a good rapport with the millionaire from previous interviews. Looking at his wristwatch, Rotimi informed the cops that the chief was usually at the Gulf Coast in Maitama around this time. As they made their way to meet Chief Uzor, Rotimi checked his phone for any updates or messages. The urgency of the situation pushed them into action, knowing they couldn't afford to wait for the mysterious writer to reveal more details. Once outside the office, Audu inquired about locating Akin, but Rotimi suggested focusing on Chief Uzor first. The plan was to talk to the chief and then decide on their next move based on the information they gathered. As they hurried down the staircase, Lucky couldn't help but feel apprehensive about the uncertainty ahead. The chase for answers had just begun, and he hoped they wouldn't be led astray by false leads. Their journey to uncover the truth was full of unknowns, but they were determined to follow every lead, no matter how obscure it might seem.